It's Wednesday, and I hope you eat your Wheaties. Welcome to my channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Travis, and today we're going to talk about diagnosing your Super 73 issues. Now, you may ask yourself, who is this guy, and who is he to tell me how to fix my Super 73? Well, I'm a level 3 technician in IT, and some of the things I deal with on a daily basis are computer screens, computers, switches, towers, cables, all kinds of stuff that are very similar to Super 73. Super 73 has a power source. We have electricity going into the building. We also have systems like UPS that have batteries in them so that when the power goes out, it has a power source. Also, the next thing is computers, laptops, handhelds, printers, you name it, computer electronics. I deal with it on a daily basis. And all those things have cables that plug in. So I also have certifications in IT that do basic troubleshooting, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about today. So let me give you an example. The other day I was riding my bike and I was ready to go for a long ride, almost 40 miles there and back. And I was about 2 miles out. I was just about to cross the crosswalk with my bike, and the power in my motor just died. So I know I got a problem with my motor potentially. And so I pulled off to the side of the road on the trail once I got down a little bit and found a nice spot. And the motor wasn't working. But I found that the battery's not on, or it was on. So it wasn't that the battery had turned off. So I was thinking, well, so I don't have power to the motor, but I do have power, which is interesting. And so I turned off the battery and I turned it back on and see if I got power then. And I had power, but no power to the motor. And then so I reset it again and it popped back on, the battery came on, but I still didn't have power to the motor. At that time, I noticed that I had a second problem, which was I didn't have power to my LCD. So something's going on here. I have two problems. I got no power to my motor and no power to my LCD. So I was thinking, well, so there's only a couple of things, right? So there's the motor, which connects to all the cables, and there's the controller, which connects all the cables as well. Well, the controller tells the motor what to do, right? So I was thinking, so I flip the bike over, I look in there, I try to see if any of the cables have come loose. And I don't really see that much going wrong with it, but I do see a cable in there that might have possibly unseated itself, and I was thinking, man, I do not want to take this thing apart to put it back together. So I looked down, and the big old fat cable that connects to the motor looked funny to me, right? And I was thinking, well, maybe that's it, because it seems a little out of place, like something's not right with it. So I went ahead and twisted it off, disconnected it, reconnected it, twisted it back on so it looked good, and now I have the cable reseated, and I wanted to see if that was the issue. So I go in and I turn my bike back on, and the battery comes back up. Well, I never had an issue with the battery in the first place, so nothing really solved there, right? And then the next thing is, well, I had two problems. So I checked the LCD, and the LCD seemed to be working. So now I only have one problem. Does the motor work? Well, I pushed the throttle, and sure enough, the throttle worked, so no more problems with the motor. And I had a sigh of relief, and I thought to myself, well, when I get home, I'm going to check all these cables, make sure they're all good. And one of the things you guys got to keep in mind is you're out there bouncing around. Cables are going to get dislodged. They're going to disconnect. And as a PMI, preventative maintenance, you guys are going to want to go ahead and check your bike every once in a while, maybe even every time you ride, to make sure that cables haven't unseated themselves and that they're not damaged in any way, because the last thing you want to do is to get water on a damaged cable of some kind, and that way you guys can fix those issues really quick. Now, I've had another issue with my bike, which was I was riding my bike along and the bike just cut off for no reason. And it wasn't a cable. The battery still worked. I was able to reset the battery and everything worked fine, but it was just scary because it was at night and I was trying to go home, but my motor just cut off. And had I been trying to keep up with traffic or whatever, not been in a bike lane, that'd have been a problem. So the thing I did was see if it's repeatable, and I did find that it was repeatable. I was able to do this over and over and over again, and it turns out actually that the controller I had received with my bike from Taiwan via Las Vegas came with a bad software update. So Super 73, I reached out to him, and it took 3 weeks to get a hold of somebody at Super 73 to see if I could get something fixed. Now, luckily for all of us, none of us had that problem anymore. Super 73 has hired all kinds of reps to get people's bikes up and running, and thank God for that, because all those people calling in and emailing Super 73 about their bike and when's it going to come in disrupted my ability to get my bike up and running. So thankfully that's all over. They sent me out a controller, I swapped out the controller, and everything is good with my bike now. It's got the most updated software. It doesn't have any issues. I've tested it thoroughly. I even did the thing that it was doing over and over again, even though it was actually intermittent, but I found that there were some times that it wasn't intermittent. So I was able to test those things. It was to my satisfaction, and I told Super 73, seems to be working, no issues, they're not repeatable, and so you guys can see if these things are happening to you. Like those cables, they're going to cut power to the motor, they're possibly cut power to the LCD, but your battery will working. So this is just a short solution so that you guys don't have to call Super 73. Maybe it's nighttime, maybe it's past 6 o'clock, you're out riding and they're closed, you can't talk to them the next day, but you want your bike, you want to be able to go. So check those cables, check the battery, check the motor, check the controller, make sure all those things are good so that you guys can continue on the road. And one of the things you guys are going to make sure that you do is comment, like, and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I hope this was insightful. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys next week.